Well, yeah, we're going to get to that here in a bit. But jumping right into this, last Friday, Life of Agony released their new album.
They sure did.
Long time coming. I think, when was Broken Valley? Like 10 years ago?
Yeah, 2006, I think.
Okay, so 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And this is technically only their 5th album, right?
Yeah.
And we're both long-time big fans of this, and you even more so than me. You know, you rank them up there on your all-time favorites, and I absolutely love them as well.
Yeah, I mean, Life of Agony is one of those bands that they always sound like Life of Agony, even though every fucking album they do has a different twist or turn or theme or sound or style. But at the same time, it still sounds like Life of Agony. You know, they're empowering. They're catchy. You know, and that's what has always, you know, endeared them to me. And I'm super stoked that this album is out, and it's lived up to every expectation I had. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It's a much more realized and focused effort than Broken Valley was. And loved that album, but I'm just, you know, as a fan, I'm kind of comparing and reviewing. And, I mean, it sounds great. I mean, his vocals are out of this world. There's riffs, it broods, it rocks. I mean, it's got everything. And, they're just doing more of what attracted me to this band 20 some odd years ago, really.
Yeah.
More than 20 years ago, probably about almost 25 years ago.
Right. Well, it's A Place Where There's No More Pain is the name of the album. And I thought the same thing you did. I like Broken Valley, but it didn't stick with me the way the first 3 albums did, especially the first 2. And Soul Searching Sun later on, like, when it came out at first, I was like, what? But I got over that really quick once I really listened to it.
Yeah. Fell
in love with it. But this one was instantaneously. Like, the first listen, I was like, wow. And then, you know, this past weekend, I've listened to this thing 6 or 7 times through. And it's easy because it's not a lengthy record. It's like 40-some minutes, I think. And like you said, it's the things that drew me to those first 2 albums are really represented here.
Yes.
But besides that, there's also stuff that's reminiscent of where the direction they started going to Soul Searching Sun with, like, the more catchy kind of stuff, like Weeds and whatever. And, you know, they really had that with the first 2 singles they released for this.
Yeah.
You know, what was the first song? Sorry. The title track, Place Where There's No More Pain, and then World Gone Mad. You know, both of those kind of led you to believe that's the way this is going, but then half the album has that, what's the word you use, brooding?
Brooding, yeah.
And those are the songs that, you know, sorry to catch it, those are the songs that they're stuck with me the most.
Yeah.
Because they're so reminiscent of the stuff I love from Ugly.
Yeah. Exactly. I think, and I really like what you're saying here about how it's like the first 2 albums mixed with where they're trying to kind of go with Soul Searching Sun all rolled into one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a perfect description because they're not going back to a sound, you know, but they're keeping true to, you know, what they did and what they do. And it's kind of like they're just, you know, a nod to all that, and it's coming out in a new energy. So it's a beautiful thing.
Well, you mentioned, you know, how each album sounds different, but you still know who it is. And that's real evident with Joey Z's guitar tone. It always is different. But it's like, how do you still recognize that it's him as a guitarist yourself? You know, because he's like, this sounds a little different than some of the other stuff, most of the stuff on this album, but it still sounds like Life of Agony even when you don't hear the vocals. Well,
and I'll tell you, for me, it's because no matter what album it is, the mix of Joey Z and Alan Robert and the rhythm of the riffs and the writing, it's I don't even know what to call it. It's just got this rhythmic. There's just this rhythmic tug going on. Almost want to say like a jerk, you know. Like, and it's in every album. And, you know, I could really point it out if we had like a listening party. You know what I mean?
Right.
But there's just something about the way they play together that is, it's signature Life of Agony. And it's, you know, it's something that I glommed onto really early.
Yeah.
So for me, that's how I can tell.
Yeah, well, this is one of those albums. Our hashtag all killer no filler is perfect for this, because every single song, it's like I can tell you off the bat that Bag of Bones is my favorite song on this album, but I can't tell you what my second favorite song is because it's the other 9 or 10 songs on this album.
That's right.
Like every single one of them.
Dead Speak Kindly, I think, is my favorite right now. I love A New Low and Bag of Bones. I don't know, A New Low is pretty badass.
Yeah, that might be my second if I had to pick.
I mean, it's just, these guys are just bringing it. They really are. And, you know, we've been able to turn a couple friends onto it that didn't really,
like missed them the first time around.
Missed them the first time around. And they're really liking this album. So it's a great thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, I got the vinyl, and it's awesome on vinyl. Super warm. It's great. It's just a great record.
That's something I'd forgotten. I'm glad you brought up because I wanted to ask you. Did you notice when you listened to it on vinyl at the end of it, after, you know, Little Spots of You?
Yeah.
At the end of it, it's pretty quiet, but it has that sound of the record.
Yeah.
You know, like when a record ends.
I noticed, yeah.
Like, how does that sound on vinyl?
Well, I thought,
did you think it was your record player?
I thought, is this the record player? And then I looked, you can see each section of the songs and it's still going. So I knew it was part of the song. I mean, that's a pretty, you know, that's a great way to close out the record. You know? It's pretty dark.
Right.
And just kind of finalizes stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that song because one thing about Life of Agony that's always stood out as much as anything is Mina Caputo's lyrics.
Yeah.
You know, they've always been extremely emotional and deep, you know, starting with the first album, Clear to Now. And everything's out there, emotion and everything. And this song, Little Spots of You, it's one of those songs like, you know, they're early in the song where it stops.
Mm-hmm.
And it intentionally doesn't come back like way longer than most people do when they do that break.
Yeah.
It's like 5 or 6 seconds. You're like, what the fuck happened? And then it starts again and it's just like almost awkward to the point of you feel like, should I be listening to this? Like you feel like it's so emotional that I shouldn't be listening to this. This should be like her personal thing.
Yeah.
That we don't know about, but that's great music, right?
Yeah. That's what makes, that's what makes great art is you just putting it all out there.
Yeah. But man, the whole Walking Catastrophe and Song for the Abused, you know, those, man, hell, every damn song, but from Dead Speak Kindly clear to the end is just like masterful.
Yeah.
You know, and that's no knock on the first 3 songs. I love them as well. And I told you, you know, I've got one of my favorite bands of all time is Courage and Conformity. They're supposed to have an album out this year. Rammstein, I love them. They're supposed to have one. Night Flight, we love them.
Yes.
Theirs is coming soon. I can't imagine anything other than maybe one of those surpassing this as the album of the year. That's how much I love this.
Calling it now, huh?
Yeah.
I mean,
that could change. There's still 7 or 8 months left in this year, but, and a lot of music to come. Someone may surprise me, but I can't imagine. This is definitely going to be in the top 3 or 5.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt. It's that good.
Oh, yeah, definitely be on mine for sure.
Yeah. And the other thing I hope is, you know, ever since they got back together, they played a decent amount of shows, but they keep them in Europe and elsewhere, and they'll do like New York and Northeast. They might do California or something on occasion. But they just stick to the areas where they had a stronger fan base, which is probably smart.
Yeah.
You know, that same concept that Dave from Monster Magnet was talking about. You know, why play the middle of America whenever, even though we love those 100 fans, you're only getting 100 fans to show up, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I just hope now with this new album out, you know, maybe they'll get a support spot from someone. If not, I hope they hit up, you know, a Dallas or a Kansas City so we get the chance to finally see them again because it's been forever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I will drive.
Yeah.
For sure.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, a place where there's no more pain. Get out there, pick this up, if you've never heard Life of Agony for some reason, you listen to this, listen to it all.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
all good. 5 albums, and we've been doing this show we have on YouTube, every album in a row, where we listen to a band's entire catalog from start to finish. And we mentioned, well, they got this new album, so we should throw them in the mix here in the next couple weeks, probably.
Yeah, I definitely want to do it. I can't wait.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. That's it. Our YouTube channel is at The Thunder Underground. Hit subscribe. We've got all sorts of those things. We've got a complete change from Life Agony, but we've got Motley Crue coming soon.
Yes.
That's already been recorded in the bag, so to speak.